Today's adventure brings us to Hoover Beach State Park, and this is the mystery grave of Hamburg. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is one I just found out about not too terribly long ago. It's literally called the Mystery Grave of Hamburg. It's located here in Hoover Beach State Park in Hamburg, New York, and it's also Hamburg/Blaisdell, so pretty much take your pick. So no one knows, surprisingly, a lot about this grave, who's in there, and actually how it got here. There's a lot of theories. One of the theories is that it was broken somewhere down the road a little bit, maybe about a mile, and that somehow the stone was just deposited here. You know, maybe some kind of a fight or something. You know, they say it might have been closer to the Dock of the Bay restaurant. So that's a possibility. And if that's the case, it's possible that no one's even buried in this grave. It could just be a marker. No one has really ever bothered to use ground penetrating radar or anything like that to see if someone is actually buried here. The identity of the person that's buried here is also a mystery. But I've already taken a look at this stone, and I'm going to share that with you, and I think we might be able to make some moves here into actually figuring out this mystery. So we're definitely going to give this one a shot. Okay, so this is actually the mystery grave. So it's a nondescript grave, one simple headstone. Again, this whole area here is not a cemetery. As you can see, there's basically a little park here, and looking around, it's just pretty much a lot of landscape. So we get back to the grave itself. So no one knows if someone's buried here. It's theorized that someone actually brought this stone here. It wouldn't also be the realm of possibility that this was someone's land way back in the day and they were buried here, as people were commonly buried on their own property. Although I would think it'd have been much easier to figure out if that was the case based on the headstone and land deeds. And of course we have none of that. Now, as you can see, the town of Hamburg/Blaisdell, take your pick, has actually went through great pains here to preserve this stone. And they've actually put a sort of elaborate iron fence around it, which I certainly appreciate, because this is, no matter what, a piece of history. So, whose stone is it, or who's buried here? Well, I don't know how someone really can't tell whose this is. What I can tell by looking at this is it's definitely a colonel. Now, the name I get out of this is Nathaniel. Okay, so this is very exciting. I got a very exciting update from someone who lives here and knows all about the history of that stone. I have a name. Colonel Nathaniel Bird is the name on that stone. Also, another update I can give you is the fella is not buried here. Now, here's the kicker. Legend has it that he was actually hung for treason, for something that happened over at the Dock of the Bay, and that he's actually buried somewhere under the front steps or the side steps of the building. Whether that's a thing or not, no one knows, because that's kind of folklore/rumor. However, I can confirm that he is not buried here under this stone, so there's no body underneath this gravesite. So the grave was lovingly tended to and taken care of by a local neighbor here who I just met, and a wonderful, wonderful person, that they were able to do this and preserve this wonderful bit of history. But now I can actually tell you there's no one buried here, but the stone belongs to Captain Nathaniel Bird, and his history is directly connected to the Dock of the Bay restaurant. How cool is that? I didn't exactly solve the mystery, but one of the locals here knew all about it and gave me the lowdown. So a shout out to the person, the young lady that actually just did that. Thank you, and thank you for preserving this wonderful site. Let's get another good look at this before we go. Colonel Nathaniel Byrd, that's the name. Can't really read any of that. That's probably just scripture, but we definitely have a positive ID. That's very exciting, and that's very, very cool. Well, mystery solved. And with that, we're out of here. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when videos drop. And don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. And we will see you next time.